this week's episode of The Lofty Lender. I'm excited to have Pennie Carroll with PCA Real Estate joining us today. Whether buying, selling, or investing in real estate, Pennie enjoys bringing the buyers and sellers together, helping them both achieve their goals. She loves meeting people from all walks of life, and real estate has provided the perfect opportunity. Pennie's parents were entrepreneurs, and as she observed them work hard every day, that ethic became ingrained in her. Watching how they took care of their customers was a model for how she would grow and become successful in real estate. In addition to real estate, Dennis and Pennie have been married 38 plus years and have 3 married adult children and 5 grandchildren, thankfully all living within 15 minutes of their Runnels acreage. In Dennis and her free time, they enjoy caring for the inside and outside of their home, spending time with grandchildren for traveling, and allowing time to be refreshed and ready to return and tackle the family business. Pennie enjoys her role as broker-owner of PCA Real Estate and the journey of creating a team of driven, experienced, and successful realtors. Welcome to the show, Pennie.
Thank you. I think we're done. That was wasn't it, Kyle?
Exactly. Well, I want to get in and delve into all of that stuff. So I'm going to start off with our first segment here, which is business and beyond. And I'm just going to ask you some questions about you and your business and where you're going from here. So first off, I think the majority of people that know who you are, I don't know if everyone's seen your name on a bench, right? You've talked about people sit on your face on the bench on the side of the bus stop.
Mustaches or little devil horns, but yeah, I prefer the sitting.
So how did you get into real estate in the first place?
Kind of a cool story. I was cleaning houses. I enjoy cleaning homes, working on doing that. The kids were, I think we were maybe homeschooling at the time. And I was done at noon, picked them up, went to the pool, ate mac and cheese, cut coupons, and had a perfect life. And then my back gave out on me. And at the age of 36, I thought I'm too young to be having back problems. I had met a few real estate agents and I did some cleaning for them. And sometimes I wouldn't always necessarily recognize them because there's a certain stereotype that we have outside of our business of what real estate should look like and realtors should be doing. And so when my back gave out on me, I thought, you know what, maybe I could do this career. So I thought I'll just sell one house a month and then I'll be able to replace the housekeeping income. So I started school at DMAC. I was one day late. I begged the teacher to please let me in, that I would not miss anything. And 2 or 3 months later, I had my real estate license, and then the real training began after that.
Awesome. So tell me about the first few years of experience then for you.
Sure. So it was an eye opener. I'm sure just like in the mortgage business, you go to, you get licensed and everything, and then you really start learning what it is like to put transactions together. The first 2.5 years, I learned a lot about what I wanted to do in real estate. Then the second 2.5 years, I was starting to formulate, if I owned my own brokerage or had my own team, what I would like to do with that. And never did I ever dream that I would have a team or my own brokerage. I just wanted to sell one house a month. And I think it was maybe in 2013 that we were like cranking out 20 homes a month. And I had a personal assistant that would help me with all the paperwork. But I wasn't giving my clients what I thought they deserved. They may not have recognized it, but I knew from those goals that I set from the very beginning of what I wanted my team or brokerage to look like. And so that's when I started forming a team and started bringing people around me to help me accomplish that. So I had a more work-life balance.
So getting into your leadership then, what were some of those initial tasks that you would take off of your plate in order to allow you to give those customers the dedication and time you thought that he deserves?
Sure. So I always had a transaction coordinator. I didn't understand what a luxury that was. So from day one, I was on a team that provided that. And the transaction coordinator followed me. So that was a given. I still feel very grateful. It's the same person that started with me when I formed that on my own from the team. So that's really great. April Warren, she's been with me. I'm not good with numbers, Kyle. That's why I need lenders. But I think it's been 15, 16, 17 years with the same transaction coordinator. That's April awesome. Is a gem. But the things that I started taking off my plate, I was fortunate enough to have my first 2 hires on my team to be my sons. So that was good. Joe Carroll came over with banking experience, and I started handing my buyers off to him. And that was really hard because the They're my buyers. I didn't know what I didn't know. And so I quickly learned that Joe could handle that. A team member could handle that much better than I could because I was starting to juggle more and more things within the brokerage. The next year, our next son came, Lauren, and he came with a bunch of construction background. He also came with a good listening ear. Joe and I tend to be more of probably the stereotype sales type person. We walk into a room and we can make connections and make people feel comfortable. And Lauren can walk into a room and be a very good listener. And so I learned right then that it takes all different types of personalities to take care of our clients. They don't always want the person with the biggest mouth and maybe the funniest jokes. They want somebody that's going to listen and be focused just on them and not bouncing all over the place. So as we brought in different realtors into our brokerage, it is now a joy for me to see the different personalities and how they meet our clients' needs in ways that I could never meet them.
That's awesome. So did you learn anything from bringing Joe on that you gained when you brought on Lauren or anything like that?
Sure. So just a few things that come to mind. With Joe, I learned to take some time off. So Joe came into our brokerage and said, "Hey, I'm not going to be available tomorrow." I said, "What are you doing?" And he said, I'm going golfing." I said, "You're what?" And Kyle, you know my son. And so I said, "What?" And he said, "Yeah, I'm not going to work 24/7 like you do, Mom. I need some time off, and I think you should take some time off too." And so that really helped me with my time management. And it also, because we were a team, we could cover for each other. So that was really good. And then the fact that when Lauren came, his deep concern and care for the product became real evident. So when I would go with him to show houses, or when I thought that I was training him, he was really training me. But the first thing that he looks at when he goes into a home, the foundation, he goes right downstairs, checks all that out, where I'm looking at, I think this room would look really good for furniture placement, and I would change out this light fixture. Lauren goes right to the big ticket items. And so I appreciate that about his ability in buying and selling.
Awesome. So you mentioned taking some time off, and in your bio you mentioned you like to travel. So traveling's allowed you to refresh and return ready to tackle those family business items. Have you encountered any travel destinations that have inspired you with innovation within real estate or community development? I know you've got your hands with Lauren in some of the new builds. So what does that look like?
The travel part, Kyle, we could probably take 2 segments on this because this is what drives me to work hard. Besides taking care of my clients, there is some side benefits to work that we're supposed to enjoy. And so that took me a while to get to that spot. But some of the travel that we enjoy doing, because I'm very comfortable with real estate, we did a 1031 exchange, which is a whole another segment to talk about, which I think is really cool. But we sold property here in Des Moines, and it was a rental property. We turned around and purchased a rental property in Florida. And that is now a vacation Airbnb home since 2016 for us. That's cool in itself. But what is even better is we put that home on a website called Home Exchange, and we exchange that home with people all over the world. And so if we can't trade with somebody in Ireland, we'll still allow them to come to our home in Florida. And then you get points, just like travel points with a credit card or something like that. So we bank up all these points. And then once a year, we have 3 adult children. We take one of them with their spouses and their kids, and they get to choose what countries they want to go to. Usually we have enough airfare, flight points, whatever, from our business expenses that we pay. And then they pick the countries, and we don't pay for the lodging. And sometimes a car will come with it. So it's a lot of fun. This year it's Joe and Kaylee's turn, and they have picked Denmark and Amsterdam, the Netherlands. But we've gone to Colombia, Hawaii, Belgium, France, Italy, just a lot. You can travel within the United States, but I will say anybody that wants to talk to me about getting a second home in Des Moines or out of state, I do have my license in Florida that I could talk hours for that and about that and the opportunity that it's allowed us to travel without spending a lot of money. And then the quality time that we get with each child and their family is priceless.
Well, kudos to you because I don't know that I'd really want to ask Joe where he wants to travel with his family and all of his young kids. Like that seems like a really far flight with those very young kids.
Yeah, so guess what? This is the little secret for this one. He's very smart and smooth. They have points that they want to use. So Kaylee and Joe and their baby are going on one plane, and their 3-year-old and 5-year-old are coming with us on a different plane. Yeah, we'll have a lot of quality time together, Kyle.
That's awesome. What are some other family traditions that are important to you?
Travel is the biggest. And then I like with the team that we have, I spoke about Lauren and Joe. We also have 15 other real estate agents that are on our team that I'm super excited and proud to do work and life with. What that allows us to do is I like to have one family meal a week. That way the team, we all can cover for each other because family is important to every one of our team members. So a family tradition that we have is either Sunday after church or Wednesdays is my day off from the office. I'm still working, but it's at home with 5 grandchildren. And so we might have meals as they pick up the kids. But having the family around and close to me is important.
So I know I've seen you out and about within the community a lot. What volunteer organizations are you a part of, or what things do you do? I mean, we got to talk about your tacos. Those are amazing.
Yeah. I really believe wholeheartedly in chamber membership. So if anyone's starting out their business, whether it's real estate, mortgage, anywhere, the chamber is such a great platform for meeting people, connecting people, and giving back to the community. So I look at those as, yeah, it is networking, and there is some things that we gain from that with it to help our business and support our business. But what we can do to connect people is really cool. And so we're involved in many, many chambers. Pleasant Hill, Bondurant, Urbandale, Fuse, and Des Moines West are 5 of the ones that come to mind. And then Kiwanis, Southeast Polk Kiwanis, and they do a lot for the schools and the children in our community. I'm involved in the Rotary Club. It's called the DMAM Rotary downtown. Fun group of people and good connections. And we do a lot for Capital Elementary right here close to my office. And then we give back to a lot of nonprofit organizations. And so and then I'm also co-president of National Association of Women's Business Owners. And we try to educate and do advocacy for women business owners. And that's been a passion of mine too. I love that real estate has been a vehicle that I can meet not only my clients that I help move into homes or move into Des Moines or move out, help them with milestones in their life, but it also gives me an opportunity to meet and connect with the community and give back to this great area. Kyle, you're also right here with me too. So that's really cool.
Absolutely. It's a pleasure to go to church with you every Sunday.
Oh,
Absolutely. So looking ahead, how do you envision PCA Real Estate continuing to serve the Des Moines area?
Well, I will tell you what, if my boys don't kick me out of the front door, I'd like to hang on to the real estate leadership role for a little while and then see if either of them are interested in taking it to the next step. We are a small boutique brokerage, but we're very mighty. We have good revenue and sales and team members around us. I would say maybe I'd want to grow the team some. We've got space. Probably I like to take about 2 a year as kind of my capacity because I want to make sure that they're a good fit for PCA. They're a good fit and that we're a good fit for them. And then continue to just broaden our net and stamp here in the Des Moines market with helping people buy, sell, and invest in real estate. We've dabbled a little bit in property management. I'm not sure I want to get out of my lane and take that part of it. We've also done some commercial, and we don't mind the commercial at all. Probably the heart of our I don't know if I want to say mission, but of our business model would
Philosophy.
be buying, selling, and investing in real estate in the residential realm, whether it's townhomes, land. We do some new construction. I think it's just important that we pivot and kind of flow with the market. It's as you know, Kyle, our market can change overnight. if there's any major catastrophe, worldwide or even locally, everybody just kind of freezes for a while. And it is also seasonality too. And in Iowa, we have the pleasure of enjoying 4 different seasons, but our consumers always like get distracted a little bit whenever there's any season change. And then we actually get a little break from our phone, and then it picks right back up again. Today is, while we're visiting, it's sunny out. And so I expect our phones to be ringing a lot today.
My wife and I were talking about this the other day, and she goes, I really love fall, but I'm really starting to think, I thought I loved spring because that's when the flowers start blooming and it's gorgeous and pretty. But man, every other day we're having a storm or a tornado or something else. And maybe I'm rethinking this whole idea.
Right. Yeah.
All right. Well, thank you for sharing that about you and your team there. I would like to get into a little bit my next segment, which is the quick picks. And so I'm just simply going to ask you a favorite topic or this or that, or, you can give me a quick answer or you can give me a drawn out answer. It's up to you.
Okay.
All right. So the first one is favorite local restaurant.
I would say probably Jethro's.
Fair. I love it. What's one app or tool you can't live without?
My tool would be my phone for sure. The app, I like this app called Picture This, and you can point it to any plant and it scans it and tells me what the plant is, what's wrong with it, how it'll weather where I've got it. I like that.
I love it. I'm totally taking that one.
Okay.
If you could have dinner with one person, past or present, who are you picking and why?
Past or present? I'd like to have dinner with my sister, Pam. She passed away at 45. She's a real estate agent, and I'd just like to visit with her one more time.
Sorry to hear that. Learn by doing or by reading?
Doing for sure.
You're like Joe. Got it.
Yeah.
Tacos or pizza?
Tacos, and you got to try our homemade tacos that you mentioned earlier, Kyle.
Absolutely. With pizza, though, what's your favorite kind of pizza?
Everything. Lots of stuff on it.
So do you put pineapple on your pizza?
No. Let's go back to that. Meat and veggies for sure with cheese.
Okay. You had me worried there.
No.
Phone call or text message?
Text.
Read a book or watch a movie?
Movie for sure.
Early bird or night owl?
Both, unfortunately.
With your email at 12:30 last night, I figured that was going to be both.
Forgot to schedule send.
Chocolate or vanilla?
Chocolate.
Biggest pet peeve?
Gosh, probably biggest pet peeve. Nothing really gets to me too much.
Vibrations in the car are my big thing. Like something just sitting there shaking.
Yeah, I'll take that. Yard signs shaking, somebody hitting the back seat of my car that maybe has a size 2 tennis shoe and wears a 3T t-shirt. Yeah.
No specific child in mind there.
No one.
Favorite scent of candle?
Cookies.
Your office, when we walk in there, it always smells so good. You have chamber events there and things like that. It's a beautiful setup. And as I'm going through the questions, I thought that had to be one I had to ask. Cookies.
Yes.
All right.
Thank you.
Fixer upper with potential or move in ready home?
Fixer upper with potential.
Oceanfront view or mountain retreat scenery?
Ocean. Have to have the water.
Sweet or savory?
Gosh. Well, if I'm being good, it's going to be savory. If it's after 11 o'clock at night, it's going to be sweet all the way.
And favorite music genre?
Michael Bublé. Did I say his last name right?
Bublé, yeah.
Yes, I like that.
Yeah, big band music. Yep.
Yes, big band for sure.
Absolutely. I'm right there with you. I used to study with all that stuff.
Really?
And then I flipped from that to house music. Are you familiar with house music?
No.
It's where it's it's the absolute opposite of big band music.
Do that.
It is electro type music.
Oh, no. Is it
and
jazz?
then I studied to that. What's that?
Is it jazz at all?
Nope. It's it is like when your car is on the fritz and it starts making a bunch of weird noises and things start clicking and everything else. That's that.
How can you do that?
I don't know. Somehow I can just jam out and concentrate. It's amazing. All right. Getting into the final segment here, which is our trending topic. Considering the current dynamics within the real estate industry, could you explore the advantages and disadvantages of joining a team versus operating as an independent agent? And how do these options differ in terms of support, resources, and potential for growth? And what might be the long-term implications for an agent's career in each scenario? So, loaded question there.
Wow. Yes, that is. Team versus solo agent. I've done both. I've done team most of my career. Started out 5, 6 years into it as a team. And then I had just a short stint, probably 2 or 3 years without a team. Full transparency here, when I didn't have a team, my eyebrows fell off my head, Kyle. I have 4 tattoos, eyebrows and eyeliner, because I was so overwhelmed and stressed and wasn't getting the sleep that I need and taking care of myself. I was trying to do too much with the business. I couldn't pace. So that's when I brought on Joe, and my team grew. And at the very beginning, a team was important too, because there's so much to learn. You go to your real estate classes, you get your license, and then I always say the real education begins after that. So you were able to get licensed, but now it's just experience. And with a team, there's so many different scenarios within our business, and so much problem solving and client relationship skills, communication skills. And that can be, because like you pointed out, I'm a doer and not a reader. A lot of that can be done with collaboration within the team. So we have a lot of team communication through text messaging, through our team meetings, through one-on-ones and different events that we do, and we can learn from each other. The other big thing for me, as we learned, is family. And it was really hard to do family when I didn't have a team. So if I want to take a Sunday off or a couple Sundays off and someone wants to cover my open houses, I'm able to do that. If I've got a birthday party that came up and I didn't plan accordingly, the buyers came into town, I've got someone that can handle it. Because we're all on the same team, we know what our criteria, expectations are for within our team, and we can trust the team members to take good care of our clients for us. So that long term, I think you're able to, depending on what your goals are, if your goals are to keep real estate hours within a box and have your family time and maybe explore some other hobbies or things that you like, you can do that with a team. If your goal is to open up a brokerage on your own sometime, and yeah, eventually you're going to want to go off the team. But then what you'll find, as I did, you'll open up a brokerage and then you'll soon have a team again. So there's a lot of pros and cons to both sides. Doing both, I would much rather have a team. When I go into a listing appointment or when I'm helping a buyer, especially in the last 3 months of or 3 years of our market that we've experienced competitive offers and things like that, those buyers need to know that someone, if it's not you, that someone that we know, like, and trust will be able to get them into that home and negotiate a great deal. It's one thing to open a door. It's another thing to negotiate a good deal for your buyer or for your seller. And then after that, sometimes if it goes quickly to that point, my clients may say, well, that was easy, Pennie. You did that in 2 days or 3 days. And I said, oh, am I done? Because if I'm done, yeah, that was easy. But then the rest of that comes. What do you do with the septic? What do you do with who pays for the termite inspection? What happens if the appraisal comes in too low? What should I pay for? Can I just give the buyers cash? No. We walk them through that scenario, and we can learn all of that. We can collaborate with other team members to make sure that we're giving them the best service. So Absolutely. My vote is team.
Love it. And I think with a team, you also, like you were saying, you get to see more scenarios as well, right? So you see someone else who has that situation that popped up that you just had last week, whereas if you're out there by yourself, you see that scenario once, and then you might not see that scenario happen again for a few years, and you're trying to remember, what did I do last time? Who was that? How did I handle that? And, it's not even going to be exactly the same. So,
well, and I think about the lenders within your office, Kyle, the experience that you have there, yep. And that you guys have things come up all the time with underwriting and issues that have to be cleared. And it's just really nice to have people to lean into.
Absolutely. Yeah. Thank you.
Yeah.
Well, if anyone learned anything today, I think they should definitely be reaching out to Pennie or her team. If anything that we talked about today sounded exciting to you, or if you're really wanting to buy that dream home down in Florida, you should be reaching out to Pennie and getting that set up. So, Pennie, where can our listeners find you?
You can find by texting or calling at 515-490-8025. You can also get a hold of any of our awesome real estate agents in our office, learn a little bit more about them by going to penniecarroll.com, PennieCarroll.com. Sometimes PCA Real Estate will work as well. And any one of us here would be more than happy to help you. Yeah.
Love that you've turned that into a song. Pennie. I love that.
I almost did. They can also stop by our office. We're always happy to have people here. 3232 Hubble Avenue in Des Moines. So,
and a gorgeous office it is. Yes, thanks for being on. It's been a pleasure having you. And thank you all for tuning in. If you enjoyed this episode, please like, subscribe, and share it with others who might love it as well. You can catch the full episode on all major podcast platforms and YouTube. Stay curious and see you next week.